Hey there, everyone. Thanks for tuning into today's episode. I'm your host, Brian, and today, I want to dive into something that's been on my mind a lot lately. Small habits. Yeah, you heard me. I'm not talking about those big, life-changing moments we all dream about. I'm talking about the tiny, seemingly insignificant actions we take every single day, the things that feel too small to matter, but end up shaping who we are. You know, there's this quote by James Clear, the guy who wrote Atomic Habits. He says, "You do not rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems." And man, when I heard that, it hit me hard. Like, how many of us are out here setting these massive goals, right? I'm gonna lose 50 pounds, or I'll save $10,000 this year, and then nothing happens. Why? Because we don't have the systems, the habits in place to back those goals up. Let me tell you a story. A few years ago, I was in a rut. I mean, big time. My energy was low, my work was suffering, and I felt stuck. So, I did what most people do. I set these huge, dramatic goals. I'm gonna turn my life around. I'm gonna exercise every day, meditate, eat clean, write a book. You name it, it was on my list. And guess what? None of it stuck. Not even for a week. So I started reading about habits. Not because I wanted to, but because I was desperate for a solution. That's when I stumbled on the idea of starting small. Like, ridiculously small. The kind of small that feels almost pointless. I decided my first habit would be flossing one tooth. Yeah, you heard that right. Just one. I know it sounds absurd. But here's the thing. Once I flossed one tooth, it felt stupid not to keep going. So I'd floss the second, then the third. And before I knew it, I was flossing my whole mouth. But the magic wasn't in the flossing itself. It was in the shift. I started seeing myself as someone who took care of their health. From there, I stacked habits. After flossing, I'd do a 30-second plank. Just 30 seconds. Once that became a habit, I added 10 push-ups. And then a 5-minute journal entry. Over time, these tiny changes snowballed into something much bigger. And here's what I realized. Habits aren't about willpower or motivation. They're about identity. Every small action you take is a vote for the person you want to become. You brush your teeth, that's a vote for being someone who values hygiene. You go for a walk, that's a vote for being active. The key is to make it easy, like, embarrassingly easy. Let me break this down into 3 steps. 1. Start small. Pick a habit so small you can't say no. Want to start reading? Commit to reading 1 sentence a day. That's it. 1 sentence. 2. Anchor it to an existing routine. Tie your new habit to something you already do. For example, I'd floss right after brushing my teeth. The brushing was my anchor. 3. Celebrate every win. This one's huge, guys. Your brain needs to associate the habit with positive emotions. So every time you do it, give yourself a mental high five, or even a literal one if no one's watching. Now, let's talk long term. The beauty of habits is that they compound over time. Think about it like this. If you get 1% better every day, by the end of the year, you're 37 times better than when you started. Crazy, right? But here's the flip side. If you get 1% worse every day, you're heading in the opposite direction. That's why the small things matter so much. They're like tiny investments in your future self. I'll leave you with this thought. Who do you want to become? Not what do you want to achieve, but who do you want to be? Because once you get clear on that, the habits practically choose themselves. Alright folks, that's all for today's episode. If this resonated with you, I'd love to hear about it. What small habit are you gonna start this week? Hit me up on social media or drop me a message, let's talk about it. Until next time, remember, Big changes start small. Take it one step, one habit, at a time. Thanks for listening, and I'll catch you in the next episode.